Hey, Sunny here, Gregan's editor. Gregan completed the sheet thinking Swiss was best of 7. This will change the Swiss results as the game difference affects opponents. Pretend Gregan isn't stupid and that all the 4 3s and 4 2s are actually 3 2s and 4 1s, and the 4 O's are 3 1s and 3 O's respectively. Thank you very much and enjoy the video.
Hello everybody, Gregan here. I'm going to be doing a prediction video for you. I'm going to be at Rotterdam, so I'll see you there if you're going to be at the event. Maybe you'll see me at some point. Maybe I'll sneak on the desk, whatever. We'll work it out when we're there. But I'm about to go traveling beforehand, so this is the last chance I've got to make my predictions. So I'm going to be doing this now, and it'll be uploading the day before the event. So hopefully we get the predictions right. So starting things off, I do just want to give a shout out to Atom Core here. I'm going to be giving him a follow and sending some money over to him on PayPal. So if you love the content he does through these spreadsheets, and you watch all of the other content creators use these spreadsheets for the predictions, then go support them, or even just through a follow. You know, they deserve it. So they've done a lot for the community. So if we go on here and we have a look at the first round, I'm just going to do quick predictions. I haven't got a Twitch chat, I'm not live, so I'm not going to be interacting with them. I'm just going to go through and make my quick bold predictions, and anything that stands out, I'll try and explain. So we'll just instantly go in with a 4-0. Genji versus Power, I'd say 4-1 there. This one's going to be a close one because it depends how much Moist show up, but I'd say 4-2. Club Pioneers, oh, this is going to be a weird one because I feel like the club are going to struggle at this event, but against OCE teams they might be able to take one, so I'm going to go 4-3, close one here. Team Liquid, Team Secret, this should be domination, so 4-0, but there could be some nerves, so we'll make it 4-1. Version 1 versus Quadrant, put this in Quadrant's favor, 4-2. Oxygen versus G2, oh, that's a toughie. Probably Oxygen losing out on that. Close game though. Space Station Falcons, 4-2 Falcons. So this gives our first round of matchups. Carmine Corp versus G2. Let's go 4-2. Genji versus Club. I reckon this is where the club are going to get destroyed and start finding out what international competition's like. Team Liquid versus Quadrant. Oh my. We haven't seen what these guys can really do on LAN, Quadrant, so I'm intrigued with their playstyle, but I think they will take it, but it's going to be a close one, 4-3. Falcons versus FaZe. Falcons 4-3. And then we'll go over here, the lower side, 4-0. Sorry, James Cheese, you've been given a horrible match there with Oxygen. Pioneers versus Power, the OCE team kill, but you could also say keeps one of them in, and in with the running as 1-1. Pioneers, I think, are going to step up and be better on LAN. Let's make it 4-2. Version 1 versus Team Secret, 4-2. Space Station versus Moist, 4-2. So next round's here. Genji versus Quadrant. Good match there. Good to see all the UK boys doing well. I'm saying it like it's actually going to happen. 4-2. Carmine Corp versus Falcons. Ooh. I reckon Carmine Corp and Genji are going to face each other earlier than people want, so I'm going to put this one as a stonker of a game. Goes 4-3, Falcons' favour. Team Liquid versus Space Station. Ooh, 4-3. They like to make it close, don't they, Space Station? No, make it 4-2. FaZe versus... Oh, okay, that's 4-1. G2, 4-1. No, let's give Pioneers some respect, 4-2. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. I reckon Oxygen are going to win it, but I reckon Club are going to get some upset potential there. Moist versus James Cheese. Again, I'm so sorry, James Cheese. You've had a right rough run. I reckon they might get one game here. There's a bit of a banter game. So they get one game the whole event. Yeah, let's give them 2 games. No, let's give them 1. Team Secret. James Cheese could cause some upsets, by the way, because, you know, they are a good team, but I just think this first event is going to be a lot of finding out where they sit. Power Team Secret. I reckon Power take this. Close game, though. Let's see what happens in this next round. Carmine Corp, they beat Team Liquid 4-2. Actually, yeah, because they're going to have a chance to sleep. The difference between this Swiss and the normal Swiss is there's less of that effect from the losses that there would be in the normal Swiss, because they get a chance to sleep on it a little bit or have a good few hours rest. So this kind of, if this was in a normal all-in-one day Swiss, I would back Carmine Corp after that loss to lose again, but because they got the rest here, it should be fine. Quadrant versus G2. Ooh. 4-2 there. Oxygen versus FaZe. 4-3. That's going to be such an offensive game if it happens. Space Station versus Power. Space Station win that out. 4-2. Pioneers versus Moist. First upset? Sure. 4-2. 4-2. Version 1 versus the club, 4-2. Boom. Lots of boring 4-2ers. Let's go 4-1. Hurrah. Oxygen versus Space Station. Oxygen coming clutch. Space Station not doing well. Team Liquid, 4 to version 1's 1. Quadrant, 4. Pioneers, 2. Let's make that a close game, sure. So this is what we've come out with. God, I literally just quick-fired it. There's very little logic to this other than just how I feel about I've analysed pretty much every team on here. In fact, I don't think there's a team on here I haven't analysed through the period of time that I've been analysing. So some of these are matchup stuff, some of them are just my feelings. Some of them I've got some inklings around certain players and teams that might underperform. What this might mean, I think Carmine Corp and Gen G are going to be on opposite sides of the bracket still. Yes, so we don't get the Carmine Corp versus Gen G match, which would have been horrific if we had to watch that in a quarters or a semis. Okay, so straight away, Gen G rematch against Quadrant. They get upset because Quadrant learn and download them. Okay, FaZe, they beat G2 4-2. My goodness, what a shocker. Falcons beat Liquid 4-1. Everyone's going crazy for Falcons. They're going to play really well. 4-2. Carmine Corp. Good win. Big dub. 4-1. No, 4-3. 4-3. What am I saying? 4-1. Quadrant versus FaZe. Okay. I don't know how Quadrant have managed to make it here, but this it reminds me of Semper in the Fall Major last season. And we've got Carmine Corp versus FaZe in the final. It's going to be a 4-2 win. And bosh, we have our winners. With the Swiss, the matchups at the top should be more one-sided and should go in favour of the higher seed. Once you start getting into this mess of third and fourth seeds of a bigger region and teams like Falcons in there, you're going to get some upsets. And then when it comes down to some of the stuff in here, I've put Pioneers over Power. I believe Pioneers will be the stronger OCE team just because they have a better game plan. So when they start grinding on international servers, I think they'll step up individually. And with their game plan, that'll improve. Whereas Power, what they need to improve on is a little bit more gameplay related, structure related, which is a lot tougher to improve on. James Cheese, they got a tough run in this Swiss. I think if the Swiss goes differently, they could get a better run. But of course, once you get beaten hard in the first game, you then get harder opponents in the second game and so on and so on in theory. When it comes down to what's over on the higher side, I do believe Carmine Corp have the ability to lose in Swiss, so do Gen G. I've just put it down as Falcons in this one. The Quadrant bounce back, I feel like they're going to struggle to close out. The only reason why I put them going through in this one is because they managed to get Pioneers in this final round. I do believe Quadrant are going to get ahead early, do well early, and then struggle to close out the Swiss because they'll feel the nerves. Oxygen, this run in particular, I feel like they will do well against North American style. I think they really struggle against the European structure. So I think they'll do all right if they play against teams like Space Station, V1, FaZe, that kind of thing. But I do believe FaZe are just a stronger team overall. And I think they'll really do well on this LAN. So then when we go through to playoffs, I put FaZe going all the way because I think they'll do really well. I think they're the better team than G2 right now, despite, the LAN experience. Falcons, I think, are going to do really well at this event. Liquid as well. I think they're going to cause a lot of nervous play styles from other teams if they come in and they've got a lot of momentum right now. As long as they put the work in, they should do well. When we look up here, this is just Gen G should win this, but this very much reminds me of Dignitas at the Fall Major, the way I've managed to get this. They play against each other early on, and then they play against each other in the... So it's Semper versus Gen G here. Well, Semper versus Dignitas, and then here it's Gen G versus Quadrant. And then I feel like that similar kind of pattern could happen here, and Gen G get a little bit ahead of themselves and start thinking about the semis and finals. If Gen G made it through here, that'd be a really solid top four. I think FaZe, Carmine Corp, Gen G, and Falcons are probably your top four teams going into this event. Falcons is a tough one to predict. When it comes to European teams, I really don't rate many of the European teams, but I've managed to put a lot of them through. So we've got 3 North American here and 4 European plus Team Falcons. To be honest, that's just because it's the home field advantage. And I do believe Space Station and version 1 might struggle in a European region. I believe version 1 are going to underperform. I think Space Station might get caught out by, not getting the best run possible and not having that same LAN presence that they had when they had Retals. And then I think that might cause some roster swaps for these two teams, which will start a massive domino effect in North America. For Europe, I believe Oxygen has potential to underperform, so the Liquid, just because their play styles are pretty inconsistent. I think Quadrant and Carmine Corp are pretty solid game plans in Europe. I think Moist aren't looking very good right now, but they have every potential to come in and take that top spot. I just believe if they get a few bad runs and like their first game, I believe here. The first game, that's a pretty rough first game to have against FaZe. So I think that's going to start them off on the wrong foot, and then if they get the wrong opponents, which they might very well do, could send them the wrong way. So this is just my predictions. How close I am, we'll find out when we get there. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Let me know in the comments how close I was to your predictions. I'm very much sitting on the fence with a lot of these results, with a lot of 4-2s. We might see a lot closer games, might see a lot more sweeps, but it is what it is. And I'll catch you at Rotterdam. See you there.